Greetings. I want to talk with you today. Actually, I'm going to run through some of my musings about window cleaning efficiency. I've made a little video, and we're making a video series, but I want to try and just actually get some experience, and so doing it live is going to put me under some pressure just to try and summarize. So I'm really interested in your feedback, if you're one of the people that like to give feedback, not criticism. But in the meantime, I also want to show you, those of you who own Rhino flat hose, this is a pretty major development, right? We have made Rhino flat hose so that it's now able to fit into push fits, right? What does that mean to you? It actually means we have a significantly less pressure loss through the fitting. I don't think you can see that one, and I'll try and line that one up. You can actually see the hole size. So when we use these push fit fitting, these quick connects, that's how much water can get through there. And when we change it to this new style, let me see, I was blocking the light, you can see how much more water. So basically, you know, like Rhino flat hose is crazy. It's kink free, it's self-purging, it's crazy light, it's high vis. I can carry 120 feet in one hand, right? Because you're not carrying the air. So from your filter, so you'd use a normal garden hose from the spigot to the filter, and then from the filter, running water, this is a 1/2-inch hose. It expands with pressure, so the more pressure it is, actually the bigger it gets. It's rated at 100 PSI, its bursting pressure is 120. And it's a crazy light, non-kink, self-purging, easy to carry hose. And we'll be releasing this little upgrade kit real soon, so that you'll be able to connect Rhino flat hose with push fits. So you'll be able to join them back to quick connects, back to Rhino tube, back to high flow, and all of that. Just as a summary, Rhino flat hose carries twice as much water as Rhino high flow, and Rhino high flow carries twice as much water as Rhino tube. So if you're starting to use 20-inch brushes with hydro blade across the top with, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 jets open, then you need to have, you know, better understanding of your water management and your water pressure. See who's saying hi. Todd Givings, happy Australia Day. Oh, it is too. Happy Australia Day. Good on you. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, so, you know, the fluid dynamics is becoming really, really important, and that's why we redeveloped Flow Red with new filters, because the reverse osmosis systems were all developed around 2 pencil jets. You didn't really need to understand water pressures and water volumes and all that. So now, as we start to get faster, better, safer, using the hydro blade and the Constructor brush and other rinse bars, if you guys don't like reach it, so what? Then you've still got all these problems to do with water flow, and so those are the things that we're looking to address. Peter Thomas, Aman Bala, happy Australia Day. Yes, well, it depends on the material. So hoses like this, I don't think can mean anything like this, you know, like this what? Because, you know, we can make a hose out of different material, we can make it different hardnesses. So it's really just balancing. There's a lot of, it's not just a hose is not a hose, you know, like there's a lot of knowledge goes into this, and, you know, we're 8 years into making hoses and tubes, so we think we've got it pretty good. We still have some problems, by the way. It is fickle, so I agree with you. Really, 45°C days, like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, those days are difficult on hose. When you don't have a braided hose. So then you go back to braided hoses on really, really hot days maybe. But this is what I really want to talk with you about. I want to talk with you about efficiency. So you'll have seen my little video the other day. So here's where it starts, right? And I want to bring in some of the water fed. I have the trusty water fed here, ready to parallel between the two. So it all came down to how to get the squeegee across glass. When Ed Cone released the squeegee, you can be sure he did not tell people to do this. Oh, I better get myself a squeegee. I should be wearing a gunslinger, but I'm wearing my track pants. Right. So, if the fastest way to take water off glass, yeah, I know, you're going to see that. So if the fastest way to take water off glass is that way with a squeegee, then if you understand that we went to the center top, across to the corner, down the frame, center top, across to the corner, down the frame, and then with a squeegee we take all the water off the center that we left. And then the parallel is this. is with Constructor brush, we go up to the center, across to the corner, down the frame, up to the center, across to the corner, down the frame, and we use straight pulls. So we use straight pulls to take off the rest. Now, if I went to, let me show you this. From an efficiency point of view, here's where I want to just try and demonstrate that work, those of you who have watched my efficiency and safety presentations I was doing for the IWCA, work is a scientific term. It's defined as force through distance. And Mario's here, good on you. This is a really sexy gunslinger. That is a really... Now we've got some with adjustable straps, and we're still working on how to put that strap on the inside. It's not so easy because a lot of guys are throwing their tools down in here, and that's what's torn this strap off the inside. So we've followed the original tip jar, had the strap on the outside, so we've followed that route for now until we solve that other problem. So if work equals force through distance, it's a scientific term, it's measured in calories. Yes, by reach it. If you get a small squeegee, right, even you follow that technique, yeah, that's a new blade on there. It's not broken in. You can see how much more, the force may be the same, right, but how much more distance I have to travel with a small squeegee as compared to a big squeegee, right? So if we had, you know, if I wet that up, you can see me using a big mop. I can just do it in 2 strokes, and then I haven't got a handle, so, but, you know, if I went like that, and I went like that, you know, basically I've almost cleaned the window, you know. So if the squeegee was over half the size of the window, then you can clean it with, it's sugar tit, it is. You can clean it with with just 2 sets of actions. Now it's the same with water fed, right? If you go up to the center, across the corner, down the frame, up to the center, across to the corner, down the frame, and then 2 sets of actions to take that out. Yep. If we had, and this is why we include with every Elite pack, we include a 16-inch brush, right? Because then you go up to the center, across to the corner, down the frame, up to the center, across to the corner, down the frame. 1 set of actions. 1 set of actions, and you've taken the rest of the water off. So it's all sugar tit is the name of the it's funny because when we first did Gunslinger, we had all these old abandoned towns in America, and we named Gunslinger after all the different Gunslinger colors after these abandoned towns, and there happens to be an abandoned town in America called Sugar Tit. So there's one called Orgasm as well, if you want to put those 2 together. That could be fun. All right, now I just want to have a look at this one. This is a standard brush. If you go back with us 8 years, yeah, and we can do no sets of actions, by the way, with water fed and with a blade. If you want to go back 8 years, when we started making normal pencil jet brushes, just 2 pencil jets. Then we were the first company to make 4 pencil jets. And as we understood, you know, getting more water on the glass. And these are a dual trim, so this is what we call the retro. You know, it's just an old-fashioned broom style brush with jets drilled in and blah, blah, blah. Now, what I want to do is connect my water source to this. Let me see how to do this. I'll show you how clever reach it is. Water is there. I'm going to take that off the brush there. Yep. And I'm going to take that off there. All right, you'll come out. Good. We'll go back to pencil jet for now. All right, and push that through there. Push that through there. Tighten that baby up. Put that to there. Oh, I do not have any water supply. Maybe I'm standing on. Oh, there, I'm blocking it. That's good. And then that little baby to there. All right. Now, we have pencil jets. Yeah, can you see those? Maybe I have to tap the screen, but my finger's wet. There, how's that, better? So those pencil jets are squirting. Now the reason why we had pencil jets squirting a long way, we had pencil jets squirting a long way because when you're cleaning at 2 and 3 stories, you're counterbalancing the pole. And you have to rinse like this. I don't know if you can see that, right? Now this is very hydrophobic glass. Can you see that? Let me see if I bring that in. This is really hydrophobic glass. So when that water hits the glass, if you're a pencil jet user, this is what you've got to watch. That water's hitting the glass and making this shape here. That's the size of your squeegee. Below there, there's no rinse. You see, it's just rivering off. Yep. So if you had to rinse this window, you would have to go, and why people say water-fed doesn't work, right? It doesn't work because it doesn't work when you've got highly hydrophobic glass and pencil jets. So, and you see guys go like this and rinse like this. So let me show you, this is my eureka moment, right? Let me show you what that means where you can see it with a squeegee. Because what happens is if you can't get a good rinse, and the reason we developed Constructor brush, one was because we wanted to leave the brush on the glass so that the weight of the pole wasn't counterbalancing and working the guy's core in order to rinse, yeah? And the second thing was that we understood that we needed to get the rinse, like the water, to behave like a squeegee rather than chasing it off, and then part of that is that we have actually changed the way that hydrophobic glass works. But what's happening is that when you have pencil jets and hydrophobic glass, it's like using a squeegee like that. Now if I used a squeegee like that and I left this to dry, that's going to have spots, right? Because this little jet there is only as big as that. That is exactly what's happening. So in order to use pencil jets on hydrophobic glass, and they're repelling, so you don't get to use the full width of the squeegee, right? You get this much of the squeegee, and then you have to go back like this, and back like this, and back like this, and back like this, and back like this. And if you miss a bit, right, then you're going to get a line, and you'll end up with spots on the glass. And that's what happens with water-fed with pencil jets. And that's why pencil jets, everybody who says, oh, you can't clean above 4 stories, correct. Not with pencil jets, not on hydrophobic glass. Why? Because maybe, you know, ground and first story, you can get really, really accurate, right? You can say, okay, I can do this, you know, with my pencil jets, you know what I mean? Like I can do that. So similarly, I'll show you just with the pencil jets, I can do this. You know, oh, it's bubbling up, so it's probably not very fair, but let me just get those bubbles off. See, I'm still practicing. I got to work out what not to do as well as what to do. Damn, that rubber is brand new. It's not good. Okay, so I would have to rinse like this all the way down, and if I miss any, like I just missed there, right? If I miss any, I'm gonna have a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna leave spots. So that's like, and what I'm working on is giving you the tools to be able to teach somebody who comes and joins you, teach them how to use a squeegee, and then teach them how to reach it using the squeegee. Yeah. So you can see that if you see somebody rinsing, when I see guys rinsing, and they rinse like that, and then they wonder why they've got spots there and there, right? But that's their rinse pattern. Even if they have really big rinse, you know, like when you're looking at this little mark here, even if this is, sometimes you'll see this and it's down to here, yeah? So it's a great big shape and it's rinsing. But if they rinse with this pattern, like a little Z pattern, they're still going to get spots, yeah? All right, so the next thing I wanted to share was just basically raw efficiency of size, yeah? So if I use a mop that size, I can cover the glass in basically 3 sets of actions, yeah? Oop, oop. See, rusty. But if I had a mop this size and I wanted to do the same, then I'm on 4 sets of actions. Well, that's 33% more work because work is force through distance. So the force is not more, but the distance is more. It is true, by the way, when you have a bigger mop, the same with window weapon when we talk about that. If you have a bigger mop, then your force, if you're going to clean that, your force is going to be applied, the amount of force, the same amount of force on this will be more power of agitation than the amount of force on this if they both had the same mop cover, right? Because you're spreading the same load across this, or if you want this one to behave the same as this one, you have to use more force. So work equals force through distance, so you have more force, less distance. It may pay off for you if you've got the strength, which most window cleaners have, right? So it's force through distance. Bigger mop, unless you're doing shop storefronts, right? Bigger mop, as a rule, may require more force. However, instead of 4 passes, it's 2 passes, right? So 1, 2, I can do that in 3. So instead of 3, it's 2. Well, 3 is 50% more than 2. So your distance traveled is 50% more, okay? Yes, I'm a big believer in the 12-inch window weapon. However, the 16-inch window weapon with just microfiber, if you're wanting to take pollutions off the glass, you know, you're putting some detergent on there, or the white non-scratch pad as a go-to brush where you're just going to use it all the time. You're not actually trying to get bee poo off or artillery fungus. You're just trying to make sure that you actually catch everything. Then I think that's a real case for the 16-inch the window weapon. Yeah? Yeah, appreciate what you're saying there, Joe. Okay, now there's more, but wait, there's more. So when we hook up, let me choose which brush I'm going to hook up. If we disconnect there, and we disconnect there, we can change the brush out. This is, by the way, I'm using the #1 section of a mini here, and this is grip. I'll show it to you in just a minute. So this is more laborious than normal, but because normally you can just swap them out, you don't have the tube going up the middle, but in this case I've got the tube going up the middle. Hang on a second, it's coming down my arms. Come on, baby. Okay, here we go. And go. You idiot. That has to happen when it's live. Give me 2 secs. Now, I've got a pump, but I don't think I'm going to use it. Alright, I'm dry again. Okay, so the same logic is that if we're going to use Constructor brush and we use a 16-inch brush, across to the top, down the corner, across to the top, down the corner, and 1 pass to take out the middle. That's the key. Now the other thing to have a look at with Constructor brush is that we are turning the hydrophobic glass hydrophilic. I don't know if you can see that, but that water's sheeting. You can see if I just put the water on it just as jets, you can see it's just beading, right? And if I use it as Constructor brush, it's sheeting. And you have a look at how much less water is left on the glass, right? So even when you're leaving the glass wet, it's less wet. Can you see that? Like, this is what I love most about our innovation, which we are really close to getting our patent on. So there you go. So you can see this has almost got no water on it at all. And that's actually our target. Our target is actually that you use water fed and leave the window dry. That's my goal for end of 2019. So that's pretty exciting. Damn. All right, so let me just show you grip. If you are doing a lot of groundwork, what I did is I did 5 hours straight with the UEMCC, teaching 1-hour sessions, one after the other. And what I found is my hand was cramping. And a guy in Australia called Peter Thomas, Aussie, he had developed one of these for himself, and he said this is a great idea if you're doing a lot of, you know, pool fencing, glass balustrades, glass, whatever. So we basically, he doesn't have this because we developed this where you can put the water in the bottom of the tube. But if you're doing a lot of ground glass, then you can actually use grip, and this will give you a much more ergonomic handle on the #1 section of a Mini. We also have another one of these little handles that you can slide up and use and adjust for your top hand. Hey Ron, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, so this is basically a quick summary of how I believe that we can teach water-fed using traditional tools. We can show people what they're doing wrong by using traditional tools and show them what to do right. The fastest way to get, let me move this back so you can actually see the full window. How's that? Turn that way. There. So if the fastest way, I know there are two ways to get squeegees across glass, but we have followed one way. Put that there. So if the fastest way to get a squeegee across glass is like that, and then fan you fan that water off the glass. If that's the fastest way to get a squeegee across glass, and then we can, with a water fed, we're using the mop and the squeegee at the same time effectively, then we use exactly the same technique with Constructor brush. Up to the top, across to the corner, and down, up to the top, across to the corner, and down, and then take out the middle. We take out the middle with a straight pull rather than with a fan. When we first started, if you go back to the early 2015 Constructor brush videos, we actually used to teach this way, where up to the top, across to the corner, and down, and then we taught to fan, right? So we actually started that way, but if you actually just think about work equals force through distance, we want to reduce the amount of force and we want to reduce the amount of distance. It's faster to use a straight pull. And if there is a lot of water on the glass, a straight pull can actually take water off under the brush. So you'll actually see there's water under the brush, and you'll see that come off with that blade. So you can get more water off the glass from under the brush, and then the pure water being left on from on top of the brush. Oh, did you? I'm sorry about that. Okay, well I'll finish here and see if I can save it and then push it back up, right? Sorry, Hugo. Has everybody else got a good connection or not? It could just be yours. It may not be mine. Mine's not showing me that I've got bad connection. Chad's here. Cleet is here. Cleet, good to see you, man. I just want to press that little wave thing. I don't know what happens if I do that. Yeah, I waved at you. Long time no talk, buddy. I hope everything's going well up there in Chicago, right? All right. Everybody else's connection okay? Okay, Jamie Schmidt's here. Good. So Jamie, this is actually for Jeff Price, but he's out at dinner, so I thought I'd practice my pitch, because I really want. Jeff's a 30-year window cleaner, and I think if you can first teach how to use a squeegee and then teach how to use water fed, it's just going to be so easy for people to pick it up with the right technique. Hey John, I got this little wave button now. I can wave at people. That's pretty cool. So John, I'm sending this to Jamie Schmidt's show on Dante's hips, and then he's going to send it to you, because we actually made this one for you, but I love it so much I've kept it. I know we've sent you another one, so it's all good. You're not without one, but this is yours, man. This is Gunslinger 1.1. Look at it. It's just stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love it. All the new ones have actually got a black panel on the back. We standardized the panel on the back. It sits against your leg, so that's it. Well, so that's it, Jamie. We feel strongly that if we can teach people to squeegee properly and how to get the squeegee across the glass, the whole thing about efficiency is to understand what is work. Work is measured in calories. Noah Peterson's here. Hey, Audrey. That work equals force through distance. So if you want to get more efficient, you have to understand these two things. Two things. Force and distance. How much pressure, how much effort, and then how far do I travel? So if we can get ourselves to understand how to require less effort from ourselves, right? And some of that's the ergonomics. You'll see us, using, instead of using a hand tool, we're using a pole tool, because I can actually use less effort by using the whole body and the big muscles and everything like that rather than the little muscles. So you'll see me, I'm going to head down that road, right, soon. And then but the easiest one to change is distance, right? So Jamie, I'll just show it one more time, right? My point is, if you have a squeegee this size, yeah, then that's one movement, that's two movements, and then we can take the water off the glass. And if we have a squeegee this size, then that's one movement, two movements, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that rubber is, that can't be black diamond rubber. There's just something wrong with that rubber. Get out of the rain. Okay, yeah, I'll upload it later. Yeah, make sure it's better. Okay, so that took a lot more time to do because we traveled more distance. So that's why guys use bigger squeegees. But the biggest thing that I've noticed, and I just want to add this to this video because it's actually got nearly everything in it, is this. We see a lot of guys with big squeegees fanning like, there's two things they're doing. They're fanning at 45 degrees and they're only using half the blade, right? So, because like I look at everything to try and work out, you know, what we could do better in water fed. So if you look at this, oh, I'm going to do that again, sorry. This is really simple, right? There I'm using the whole blade. Here I'm at that angle. So if you have a look there at that angle, I'm using half the blade, right? That's what I'm using. Basically half of the blade. Yep, can you see that? Yep. Okay, so then it gets worse. It gets worse than that. The guy uses half the blade and then comes over and he overlaps half, right? So he's only using half the, he's using half the blade to clean half the water. So I think that's really interesting if you're training guys to understand, let them understand how to, when they're fanning, they should, you know, try and fan with the whole squeegee, you know, so you've used 2 fans compared to 3 movements, 1 squeegee. Okay, there it is. Deshaun is here. Great. Okay, so that's my, is there any questions, you guys? You want me to go over anything, or did you see anything? Yep. Water-fed and traditional tools working together, developing a training program. This is being done for Jeff Price and Jamie Vono, coming down to the Pressure Washer Motivation 200 people event in Myrtle Beach on February 21, 22, 23, something, or 22, 23, 24, something like that, right? And now you have that and that and that, and that, whether you have to do that once or twice, that would be determined by how dirty it is. And then if you can't clean a window twice with our original brush, then you're going to switch to Window Weapon. And Window Weapon has microfiber, white non-scratch pad, bronze wool, boy, it's got everything in it. Stainless steel, blue metal. It's got all sorts of different abrasives so that you can get the number of strokes down. So again, work equals wash through distance. Work is measured in calories. So the more work you do, the more calories you're going to burn, the more you got to eat. So it costs money to work, right? It costs money to work. You have to eat more if you do more. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're 21st and 22nd, 23rd in Myrtle Beach. That's really exciting. So the whole logic is to say, if you can't take something off glass with a normal brush within 2 strokes, change the brush. And that's why we developed Window Weapon. So Window Weapon has a load of different pads that have got different levels of aggressiveness. Yeah. And there's another one here, like, you know, this one's got white non-scratch pad on it. So this could be a go-to brush for all intensive purposes, yeah? So white non-scratch pad, through to bronze wool, through to stainless steel. We can take, you know, paint overspray off, we can take artillery fungus off, we can take BPU off glass using these. And then remember that if you have a 16-inch Window Weapon, so this is a 12-inch and a 16-inch, the same as we talked about with the mops, that a 16-inch window weapon needs more pressure to achieve the same result if you're actually looking to be really aggressive. Now, if you're not looking to be really aggressive, then it's fine. You can put a white non-scratch pad or a microfiber on a 16-inch window weapon and you'll be fine. But if you're trying to take bead poo off, then you have a look at that surface area, and the pressure that you apply is put across that surface area. And that's where you see the copies of this, where guys have brought out, like, you know, carpet cleaning spray bars bolted onto floor mops with 9x6 pads on them. A complete lack of understanding of the science of cleaning, and really kind of a really big shame for anybody who buys them, because they've got 3.5 to 4 times more surface area than the window weapon. And so their effort, thinking that they're going to be able to do the same as window weapon, their effort is spread, is just spread. So they're not going to get, they're not going to have an aggressive product, right? And if you compare that to DA components, the DA components block is exactly the same size as the block inside window weapon, right? So Dante, yeah, there's dollars in this. This is really, I think, going to be the brush that everybody uses in, by the end of 2019. I think anybody who uses it will just continue to use it more and more and more. Yeah. Yes, there's money in glass if you clean it fast. So work equals force through distance, memorize that. Reduce the amount of force if possible. Definitely reduce the amount of distance, because that is possible. And then work is measured in calories. If you can reduce your work, you'll use less calories. If you use less calories, you can eat less calories. So work, whilst it earns you money, also costs you money. Efficiency is safety, right? So we'll have you, if you just, you know, follow along, we will have you cleaning windows faster, better, and safer. Okay, signing out, guys. I'll save this and repost it, okay?